Hi, I'm Michael Pratt from Executive Services. Today I'm going to do a website breakdown on a random site. Okay, so let's get started. First, I'm not really sure. I don't have a website picked out, so I'm kind of going to go through the process of looking for a website to do a breakdown on. So first, I'm going to go to a local directory listing. So I'm just going to search small business directory. Let's say Boston. So Business Finder, Mass Live. So there's a couple of them here. Let's check this one out. And as you can see here, so this is a business listing with all these different categories. And I've been to this business listing before, and I know that like not all these categories are filled up, but there are some that are, and I'm going to go to a popular one in accounting, let's say, because accountants are someone that you really have to trust. So when you go to someone's website looking for an accountant and it's really important to you, then you're going to want them to have a good website. So let's check out accounting and bookkeeping. All right, this is a small business directory, and what this does is it has at least most businesses in the area. So not all of these will have a profile, so not all of them will have a website, but I'm going to hold Control and click on a bunch of these to see if we can find one with a site to do a breakdown on. So I'm just going to go through. I'm going to click through to a bunch of them. There's some law offices in there that are registered as an accountant, bookkeeper. So let's check out Michael Moriarty's website. Hope I didn't slaughter that. Hope I don't get sued by any of these attorneys or anything either. All right, so we have a very interesting website. So I know that they've done a little bit of SEO because their website is listed here. And they have a very old, outdated website. It doesn't scream untrustworthy, but it does say that they're out of date. If I was looking for potentially a modern CPA for my business, for my technology business, or I was just looking to move to maybe a new type of cloud-based accounting system or something like that, I would probably just assume that these guys weren't going to be able to work with me just based on their website. And that's not everybody. But you have a split second for an impression to be formed with your website. This one's going to be a good one to do a breakdown on. We know that they've done a little bit of SEO work here, so let's see exactly how much. So where are they out of? Okay, so let's try QuickBooks Accounting Boston, or Boston QuickBooks Accounting Services. Let's do a search and see where they come up. So we have a lot of, you can't really compete with Intuit for QuickBooks. So those are going to come up. He's not doing any advertising, it looks like. Boston Bookkeeping comes up pretty good. They've done a ton of SEO. And I thought I saw another one, Bookkeeping Boston. So as you can see here too, I just want to quickly notice, QuickBooks Boston Services all comes up in most of these, in the meta description of most of these sites. Not this one, even though it comes up first. But they probably have a ton of backlinks. And that's what the importance of backlinks are. They lend authority to your site. So let's go back to Michael's site here. And I'm going to go through and I think I'm going to do the breakdown on this one, but let's see what else we have. So this one doesn't have a link. This one doesn't have a link. All right, no link. Fiducial? Let's see, Joe and Nemo, huh? All right, so here's an okay website. I don't know. This looks a little bit more modern. They have some kind of modern areas in here. Icons are a little bit more updated. Has 2018, so they're manually, so this is a manual change that they have to make. So maybe this website was actually built in 2018. I don't know if you guys can hear like the train. I have the window open a little bit because it's hot in my office, and the train goes roaring through here. Anyway, so let's see. All right, so they have some good information on here. Again, this is a good website. They definitely do some SEO since they have a link on this directory. And let's see, services, specialties. Confused what this is. It's a little bit confusing. So the navigation on this site, while this site looks good, the navigation isn't very well thought out. So the process of, so if I'm coming here, I'm looking for, looking for some sort of services. So probably be, okay, business services, cloud and IT administration, interesting. And then it gives me a form. So this could use a little bit of improvement, but they're probably working on this site. So they have the necessary things that they can cover, and they're in the process of working on it. And it looks like overall it's okay. There's the couple of changes that I've mentioned, maybe a little bit better white space utilization in here, but it's actually pretty good. But one thing I'd like you to notice is that one, it's a little bit more modern to drop www off of your domain name, so to not have it on there. And it's definitely a search engine optimization and just a overall site security. So this is an accountant, and they are, they're dealing with your financial data. You want to think security. This just says not secure, but you get a green check mark or a little lock symbol or something that indicates a little bit more trustworthiness. Why this website would not be secured, especially when the most popular and common type of security is free now, you just have to know how to set it up, is kind of inexcusable for whoever built this website last year. That would be definitely a criticism that I would have of this website, and something that, besides adding a few more modern touches to it, like these images here should definitely be, a parallax, so like the scrolling effect or something, just to maybe you could really spruce this website up and make it a lot more modern with just some really basic, simple touches to the overall CSS, and just kind of like the display of the page. And I don't know if I like this header going end to end like this, but overall a pretty good site. No link on that one. No link on that one. PG Staffing. This is probably an accountant staffing group. All right, so we go right to PSG Staffing, and right away we get a couple of pop-ups. Now, this is pretty standard and it's modern, and it looks like they're not doing that bad of a job. So they're immediately giving you like a choice, like, hey, who are you? Where do you want to go? Are you seeking a job? Or are you looking to hire someone? And that's okay, but I actually want to go to their website to see it. So it's a toss-up between whether you want to make someone actually have to click out of a couple of things to get to what they want. Most people go to your site for two main reasons. One, to figure out contact information, and two, to figure out pricing information. So how do I contact you? How much do you cost? And those should be almost immediately apparent. And they are right here. I can contact them right here, but maybe I just want their phone number. So there's a contact us here. And this is where people will go to look for it. It wasn't immediately apparent. I thought they actually didn't have it at first because I missed these up here. but this is where they're trying to draw your attention to for whatever reason, despite the fact that most people come to a website in search of those two options. Not crazy about this overall design. It's not bad. It's definitely modern, a little bit more modern. They probably have that probably gets pulled in dynamically, which most sites should. That's good. They have HTTPS, which is good. That means that your site's secure. See the little lock there? So any information I type in here isn't going to just be intercepted by some third party. Overall, looks like the information on here is pretty good. They probably rank okay for some specific keywords, job categories. They have some decent navigation. It's pretty easy to navigate their site. I would probably have a little bit more updating and bring it up to a little bit more of a 2019 standard, but it's not bad. It's actually pretty good. All right, Carson Law Office. We'll check this one out. This is the last one. Okay, so let's see. Not secure. So they're going to take an SEO hit, and it also makes them a little less trustworthy, especially with technology people. So you have a law office here. So this is just a law office. They know someone has told them that most people are coming to their site to contact them or for the pricing information. Now, I don't know if I necessarily agree with being this, like, okay, here it is, here's just my information, but it's not horrific. I don't know what's going on. I think this is supposed to be a header with some information in it. Though they have the black bar up top, that's a sticky header, it looks like, that just doesn't really have anything in it. It's very strange. Little description here. This is what he does apparently. He has a contact form, and here's a picture of him. I would like to see. This is a very, like, I don't know. I'm gonna go out on a limb here and say that this was done by a nephew or something in Wix or Squarespace or something like that, where you kind of have to figure it out on your own, but you can get something that's, not terrible and does what you need it to do. There's a form here. There's his phone number. So if somebody comes across him, then they'll find him. There's been a little bit of SEO done, but it's kind of be useless and a little bit of a wasted effort because there's no content on here really to tie him to the keywords that he might be trying to rank for. Let's go back to Michael Moriarty. Moriarty. Yep, that's probably how you say that. He has some good member information up here. He has definitely some good links here with some information. Let's see if we can pick out some keywords that someone might be searching for. Let's try. Doesn't look like he ranks for anything particularly, at least not on the first page. And these constantly change. Google's constantly changing their algorithm. There are a lot of factors, mentions. A lot of these people, like if you go to Blum Shapiro, Yelp will always come up pretty high. SWCP, Wolf and Handler. Let's see what these guys look like. Let's find a CPA. So some of these first results, they are coming up, and I bet we'd find these guys in the directory if we went deep enough into it. Got some good information, some good spreading out of the page, good use of white space to separate out the different sections. Got some nice hover effects. No fly-ins or anything, but they might not need that. Some interesting color choices, but very, big fat buttons. Looks good. HTTPS, that is going to be important. Google highly ranks that once again. All right, we got something there. we got a very interesting flyout menu. They have a ton of content. They have a ton of content on their website. It's one of the reasons why they are coming up. And guaranteed, nobody reads these, but a lot of thought has been put into this, the content on this website. Really well done. Here's one that ranks almost as well as this one here. And they have some good tax services, accounting services. They have some good content here. Looks like it jumps right to just this one page thing with all of their services and information on it. Just a one-page thing that they're trying to rank for as many keywords as possible. Seems to be working. 100% guarantee that this, tax services, same page, that this site is, they have an ongoing search engine optimization plan that's just building backlinks. They're probably coming in here and tweaking some of these wordings. They're writing articles probably for other sites so they can link back to them for other good sites. And I'm curious now, Savage Wiener and Company. I'm curious if they're in this directory. Let's see, Savage. Yep. SWCPA. So they are definitely doing their SEO homework, even though they have a site that looks like it was built in the 1990s. So they could probably use a little bit of work on the design, that this would be really easy to just take this content, spruce up the design, get a much reaction to your company that shows it's a little bit more modern and up to date with the times. Of course, secure it. They'd probably be doing even better than this business if they were secured and if they had a little bit more modern of a design. They probably get a good amount of bounces just from people hitting the website and being like, oh no, I'm looking for somebody a little bit more advanced, or I'm looking for someone a little bit more up to date, or what this says to me is we have enough customers, we don't need any more. And so we're not going to put any effort into it. So this is another good website. Looks like it has a lot of content. It is secured. Looks like they've definitely done some SEO. They have good long content here. Sometimes when you're reading through these things, so like there's a lot of internal linking going on. This is definitely SEO that they're doing this for, but they're going a little bit overboard. It's why this site comes up before this site. And it might have to do with backlinks to it. I have to do a backlink analysis to really be able to tell. But this site is a site that has hurt itself a little bit with going overboard with keyword optimization. So, but they're still going to rank, because if you're doing SEO and no one in your industry else is doing SEO, and there's not a lot of people who are ranking and ranking well, it's going to be really easy to beat them out. With this website, logo should be smaller. This should be made full width. Maybe some of the use of the same graphics. These big text should be broken up into sections, kind of like they have on this site. Kind of like there's some cool little rollover effects too, but these are broken up into sections of information like this, instead of paragraph form like this. We've found through many years of websites right now that these get a lot more attention. We used to think when you're on a website, this was true. We didn't just think it for no reason, but that the area up here got the most attention, and then whatever you had in your banner. So people tried to capitalize on that by creating sliders. And now we know that people don't actually scroll past the first slider. They don't wait for it. They scroll down. And if someone scrolls down and they see all this text, like all the websites used to be, they kind of like scroll down to the bottom. I'm at the bottom, and they scroll back up, and then they look for contact or pricing or something like that. And they're just like, okay, yeah. So we thought that, oh, well, this is the only area that has that gets your attention from a website. We found that the reason of that is because people don't want to look at this text and they're like, I don't want to read that right now. And then they move on. When you have little blurbs that really emphasize what you're trying to say, expert teams, that grabs their attention and they might read a little bit more. And if they, scroll down and they're like, okay, they can find something like big illustrated examples of what they're looking for that'll stand out to them. 5 common most mistakes, or this keeps them on the website. It sets you up as an expert in your field. So now you have an article that you go to. This is something that someone wants to read. They clicked on it to come to it, or they found it through SEO, because someone might actually search common mistakes a company might make. This has probably been optimized for that, and they have the details here of it. On a page like this is okay, although I would even, the 1, 2, 3 would probably, for me, be a little bit more engaging. Maybe a graphic with each one, and then the little blurb about what each one goes over. If you're looking at it from a pure standpoint of someone who hit this page actually wants to read this information, it's not as important as the front page to have those sections broken out in a more modern way. And it's you kind of get a little bit of the same thing here. So you hit this guy's front page, he has some separation of content. It's just not very well. It's okay, but it's not good enough. I'd like to see it a little bit better. And again, they have the slider, which we know people usually don't look past the first one or whatever one they're on when they find themselves looking at the header area. That's pretty much the breakdown. Add SSL up here. Try to improve the looks of the logo and spreading this website out. The columns over here, the sidebars, are not very popular right now. You can have sections with a little sidebar. That works very well. But having the sidebar in here and then just like the big empty white space underneath is kind of died with the early 2000s. So hope you got something out of this. Hopefully it was useful and you learned a few things. If you would like me to do your site, then please sign up. And I'm looking forward to working with you.